Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? Yes, chilling with me on the late night on a Tuesday. Um, hey man, I'm super motivated right now. I'm super excited right now. I've been working on my physical fitness. All right. Well, it's funny because I never didn't work out. I always worked out, even though you can't tell, right? But I stopped boxing for many years. Like for those of you guys who follow me on Instagram at Coach Anthony, you guys probably see me hitting the heavy bag recently. And the truth is, I never hit the heavy bag. I never shadow box. I never do any of that stuff. So anything that you're seeing me doing is a super rusty version of myself, right? But I always lift weights. I always, did some kind of exercise. And so staying out the gym has never been particularly my thing. But I decided, you know what, man, let me start touching the heavy bag again. But the main thing that I'm doing now, the main difference that I'm doing now is I'm watching my nutrition. So tonight we're going to talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing for nutrition alongside of the Q&A. I'm going to be answering questions. We're going to be talking about different things, uh, obviously, but I also want to sneak in some Q&A in between. And but we're going to talk about some of the stuff that I'm personally doing. Now, I started 2 weeks ago. 230 pounds. I woke up yesterday. Well, actually, yeah, I woke up yesterday, 221 pounds. So the weight's coming off. You know what I'm saying? Coming off at a decent pace. I mean, I understand that the first few pounds are going to be glycogen, and really like 2 pounds a week in reality is like it's called aggressive weight loss, right? People, when they think of aggressive weight loss, they're thinking like a pound every single day. But the truth is, 2 pounds a week is technically aggressive weight loss, and that's what I'm shooting for. I'm looking to shoot for aggressive weight loss because the quicker I get the weight off, the more motivated I am. And I've done this many times in the past, uh, but as of the last few years, I'd say since like 2020, since basically the pandemic hit, I kind of just lost interest in the nutritional side of things. I just stopped caring about what I was eating, right? People know I just had a daughter, and people know that I'm motivated now more than ever to get myself right. And then not only that, I got a lot of good things going on. You know what I'm saying? In my life, my career is going great. I got a great professional fighter on the come up. I'm gonna be on TV a lot more often. I like to do some world tour seminars and things of that nature. And I gotta be here. I gotta look good, right? I can't just be out here looking crazy, right? So that's one of the main things I want to talk about. I also want to talk about a lot of boxing questions and answers. A lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions in my DMs, um, as of recently, just simple, fundamental questions. And so I want to answer your questions tonight. I want to talk a little bit about effective combinations that I think would help you guys. You know what I mean? For those of you guys who've been watching me hit the bag, right away I get a bunch of questions about the heavy bag. Hey, coach, what combo should I throw? Hey, coach, this, that, and the other. So we're going to talk about some combinations. We're going to talk about some conditioning and training tips. Again, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, but if you're a young fighter on the come up, you may want to do things a little bit more intensely than I am when it comes to boxing, right? Right now my goal is just weight loss. I'm not looking to fight. I'm not looking to compete. I'm not looking to spar. I'm not looking for none of that stuff. Right away, as soon as I hit a heavy bag, coach, when you making a comeback? Yo, coach, can I get some rounds with you? Yo, no. Don't call me out because I ain't gonna box none of y'all. You see what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm a coach. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna talk a little bit about the mindset required to succeed in boxing. Okay, we're gonna talk about mindset. We always gotta talk about mindset because boxing is like, I don't know, 80% mental, 75, 80, maybe 90% mental. I don't know, but definitely mental is a big part of boxing. And of course, we're gonna talk about the nutrition for a boxer, what a boxer should be eating, et cetera, et cetera. And then I also share with you how I'm eating, right? How I'm kind of breaking some stuff down. So that's basically what I want to do, man. And at the end of this, I want to give you guys an offer that I'm doing to get on a call with you guys absolutely free. So we'll talk about that at the end. First, I want to go ahead and say what's up to the people in the building. My man Sparring Love It. What's going on, champ? Man, he actually texted me the other day. Yo, coach, I loved you live. So I want to go ahead and say thank you for the love. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy right there. My boy Caesar always showing a bunch of love, man. What's going on, Caesar? We got the FSC cast. Let's go, champ. You know what time it is, baby. We got The Answer. What's up, coach? What's going on? We got E-Rock. What's going on, baby? I see you. We got La Tango. Okay. What's up, champ? How you doing, man? How are you doing? Caesar, man, listen, Caesar, I love you, man, but you flood too many comments, Caesar. Slow down on the comments, Caesar, because what happens is you're making it hard for me to read everybody's comments. So, Caesar, I appreciate the love, but just slow down a little bit on the comments. I already know you love me, baby. I love you too. You know what I'm saying? Pause, but slow down just a little bit, Caesar, all right? Buy Coach Anthony's bundle if you have some money. Now that I like, C's. That I like, C's. I like that. That you can say. And if for y'all who don't know, you guys could definitely take advantage of the CA Power Hour. For those of you guys who don't take advantage of the CA Power Hour, don't be mad when you don't save money on the courses, right? So it's 50% off on top of the 50% off. I got a 50% off sale on all my courses. You use CA Power Hour and you will get an additional 50% off on top of that, all right? The CA Power Hour is the discount code. That is for my individual courses. Now, if you don't have any of my courses, you're missing out. I'm telling you right now, you're missing out. And if you don't get enrolled into my private community, and the way you get enrolled is by grabbing one of my tiers. Example, we got the bronze tier, which gives you a coaching call with me, okay? It also gives you all of my courses. It is a crazy good deal. It's an entry-level deal. You basically get all my courses averaged at $31 a course when you really do the math on how much you're spending. And you get enrolled in the private community. And everybody who's part of the private community already will tell you that it's growing. It's getting better every day. Everybody's starting to support each other the way that I've always envisioned it. And that's why I'm actually posting my weight loss journey, right? So I'm not going to really go too public with my weight loss journey till I get the results. Okay, I'm a results-driven person, and I don't like to just talk about stuff without results. But the people who have invested in my courses, who's part of the community, are going to go ahead and see those results. And then eventually, I'll probably bundle that up. You see what I'm saying? And sell it to somebody, right, in the future, right? But right now, you can get it part of the being part of the community. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely free as I go through my transformation. You see what I'm saying? So let's just see right now what we got. We got my other guy. What's going on? Here we go, fans. Big love, coach. What's going on? Lyra, hi, coach. What's going on, champ? My man Ramon, what's going on, champ? I see y'all, man. I see y'all. Everybody. See, we got Facebook user. This must be somebody from the community. For whatever reason, my community members don't get a chance to show their name. Yo, Facebook user, add your name in here so I know who it is, because right now it's saying Facebook user. Unfortunately, the way I stream, this is how it comes up. The best thing I did was buy a course for my forward. My coach be wondering how I'm moving better each session. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the positive comments. We're all coming up to thanks to support. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. All right, so let me get this started with something real quick. And then I'll do some Q&A. All right, how that sound? All right, look, I got something in this cup. It ain't liquor though. It's, all right, drinking coffee at like 10 o'clock at night because I gotta get excited to talk to y'all. But it's all good. I'm a night person. Okay, I'm saying, but I get my hours in. All right, if I wake up late, I stay up late. That's just how it works, man. When I'm staying up late, I'm working. Okay, so I did an email on this today for people who are in my newsletter. If you don't have my newsletter, you need to sign up to the newsletter. You can sign up to the newsletter. I'll put the link to sign up to my newsletter in the chat. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. If you're not part of my newsletter, right, I try to do the newsletter as many times a week as I can. Okay, and in the newsletter, I'm usually giving out deals, but I'm always giving out game, right? So it's like a mixture of game with a mixture of deals, but effective combinations and when to use them, right? So one of the combinations that I talked about in the newsletter was the 1-3-2. So the 1-3-2, everybody has a different number system, but for me, the 1-3-2 is the 1, the 3, which is the hook, and then the 2, right? Now, this is a beautiful combination because the combination is used to set up the right hand, right? So when I use the one, bop, right? If I'm defending it, I gotta defend, right? So if I throw a jab at you, bop, first thing you're gonna do is bop, you're gonna block, right? You see how I blocked? I catched it. You know what I'm saying? I got my left hand up just in case that right hand comes. But look at this. As I go to catch, I'm wide open for the hook, right? But guess what? I don't even care if the hook lands. Because when I go wop, wop, and you go wop, wop, right? I'm going to put the glove here. Look what happens. I'm lined up for the cross, right? So it's bop, bop, boom. It's all to set up the right hand, right? So hooking off the jab is a fantastic, fantastic combination. Now, how would I set that up? Usually I would use jabs to the head, to the body to set that up, right? So I would probably do something like this. I'll be here in front of you, whop, whop, right? So you see how I threw a jab to the head, then I threw a jab to the body, right? Get you to do one of these, right? You catch, right? And I might go whop, whop, and then I might go whop, whop, whop. You see what I'm saying? So now I go bop, bop, boom, after you've already looked for a few jabs. So now when I throw that hook, it's more believable that I'm coming with that hook to try to hurt you with it, but in reality, I'm looking to set up the right hand. It is a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic combination that you need to add to your repertoire, okay? So I wanted to talk about different things you could do off combinations. That's a great one to use. So for all my beginners out there, add that to your toolbox, right? Jab, hook, cross, 1, 3, 2. But don't just throw the 1, 3, 2. Don't just go out there 1, 3, 2. Right? Set it up. Bop, bop, feint. Bop, bop, feint. Give it a little head movement. Then wop, wop, wop. Let it go. Okay? Now, when you let that right hand go, roll out when you're done. Right? So, boop, 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 roll. When I roll, I typically like to step and circle to my right. Because when I roll under with the step, all right, I'm getting under an incoming possible hook and I'm clearing the right hand that may come down the line. Envision this in your head. Envision this in your head. 1, 3, 2. He comes with a hook. I go under it. Notice I'm in the center. When I go under it, no longer in the center. That right hand that comes after the hook, in theory, would go by me, right? So this is all best case scenario. But when you're training, you always want to think best case scenario. And a lot of the times things end up working out that way. All right. So I would throw 1, 3, 2 and roll out. You can also step back off the right hand, step back in an angle diagonally. You could do that as well. But that right there still puts you in position to possibly get caught. But that can also work as well. Stepping back diagonally. I don't like to go straight back because then if somebody just bombards you with punches, but if I go back into an angle to the right, a hook can come, I can clear the hook, and I can just continue to circle to my right. But again, if you don't step back quick enough, you can get caught on the step back. So for me, rolling the head does 2 jobs. When I roll the head with the step, it just makes it that much easier, and it's just fundamentally, to me, better, okay? So that would be the first combination that I want to talk about, okay? Another combination that I really, really, really like for people to throw, okay? And we're going to get into the Q&As after this, effective combinations and how to use them, all right? Like I said, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, all right? If you got somebody who might value the information that I'm going to be giving tonight, please, man, share this real quick. Share it while I'm live. Let's get the numbers up in here, man. Send this to your boys. Send this to your homegirl. Send this to somebody who you think would benefit from this information, because I'm going to be talking for a minute, giving some game out. Also, press the like button, y'all. Do me that favor. It's simple, man. Boom. Look, man, I'm staying up late with y'all, man. Look out back, man. Hit the like button, man. Share it. Do something to help me. You see what I'm saying? And also make sure that you hit the bell notifications so when I go live in the future, you guys are always part of this, right? Because the goal is to help as many people as I can online. That is the bottom line, right? Okay, so cool. Let's go and get to the next combination that I highly recommend, okay? And that is the 1-2 to the head. Now, I gave all of this out for free already in my newsletter today. For those of y'all who got my newsletter, you probably read this already. If you don't got the newsletter, I already put the link in there. Sign up to the newsletter. It's absolutely free. Just drop your email. Boom, is yours. Okay? But the next one would be throw the 1-2 to the head and then the 3 to the body. Right? So for me, that's a 1, 2. And look, when I throw that 2, I'm fading as I throw that 2 to rip that hook to the body. Okay? So it's bang, bang, bang. As my good friend Billy Briscoe would say, the 45 to the body. 45-degree angle, right? Okay? Now, why do I like that combination? Well, when you throw the 1-2, I got to catch. When you throw the 2, I got to block. So now I'm here and I'm here. My body is wide open because both hands are up defending the 1-2. Okay? So as you're defending the 1-2, as your opponent's defending the 1-2, and they got both hands up, right? They caught the jab, they blocked the right hand, or maybe they're even here. It doesn't matter if they keep their hands here. It doesn't matter if they do one of these. The left hook is open to the body. So you just whop, whop, boom, okay? Now, when do you let that go? You got to set it up again, right? So when I'm giving you these combinations, remember, you must set up these combinations. You know what I'm saying? You don't just throw the 1-2 hook to the body. You set it up. Pop, jab, feint. Pop, 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 boom. And then you let it go. Right? You got the person looking for the jab. You got the person looking for different things. You're feinting them. You're getting them to react to you. That's why there's an old saying in boxing, be first. Be first. Because when you are first, you always get the opponent to react to you. Okay, being first doesn't mean throw punches first. Being first means do something to make your opponent react before they do something to make you react. So if I'm in front of you and I go, right, I'm being first in a regard that I'm giving you some sort of a feint. Okay, I'm feinting and I'm punching off the feint. Now the person who's fighting you has to defend. Old saying in boxing. A good offense can't be countered. It can't be countered. It can only be defended. A good offense in boxing cannot be countered. It can only be defended. Now, what does that mean? What was the key words there? A good offense, not a bullshit offense. A good offense, which means when you let your hands go, you need to let them go at your maximum with good technique, good form, good intensity, good speed. This is what's going to get you to get your shots off and make your opponent not want to punch. We talked about the 4 lines of defense on my channel many of times, okay? And the 4th line of defense, okay, or I don't know for those of you guys who don't have the 4 lines of defense, right? But the first line of defense is blocking. Second line of defense is head movement. Third line of defense is footwork, getting away from punches. And the 4th line of defense is your offense, punching. Because when you let your hands go, guess what they're doing? They're not punching. So in turn, a good offense is your best defense. Okay? So that's why you have to be offensive-minded as much as you're defensive-minded. Why? Because boxing is 50% offense, 50% defense. Before I continue, let me go ahead and talk to my man who gave me a super chat real quick. Juan Morales, thank you for the super chat. Super chats are always appreciated. Donations are always appreciated. People who take advantage of my CA Power Hour, you guys are highly appreciated. People who buy my courses, highly appreciated. Just want to make sure you guys understand that. And Juan Morales, what's the best way to take away the straight jab to the body? Well, the best way to take away the jab to the body, the best way to take away any punch to anywhere is to counter that shit right off the rip. Because when you counter that jab to the body, what's going to happen is they're going to think twice about throwing it. That's where offense, you know what I'm saying, becomes defense, right? I mean, you can always step back from a jab to the body. You can always step back and circle just to make them completely miss the jab to the body. But if you time that right hand over the top, right when they're throwing that jab to the body, I go to shoot the jab to the body as they're shooting the jab. Boom, right hand over the top. And you crack them as they're dropping in right there on that temple. Woo, what a nasty shot. And if you land that shot, you best believe that person's going to hesitate throwing that jab to the body. You best believe, because they know there's a price to pay. Listen, when somebody pisses you off, and for those of you guys who can agree with me, when somebody pisses, isn't it your first natural instinct to whoop that motherfucker's ass? Like, yo, what you say? I'm about to beat your mother, right? But why don't we do that? Because there's consequences to beating motherfuckers up, right? I try not to curse too much. But there's consequences to it. Consequence one, you knock them out. Now the police found out you hurt somebody. Now you go to jail. You hurt them. They hit the ground. They die. Now you really go to jail. You knock him out. His ego's hurt. He comes back and shoots you. Now you're dead. You see what I'm saying? There's consequences to when you do certain things which prevent us from doing it. This is why boxing is life. Boxing life, right? I have been hashtagging boxing life way before Canelo, for the record. Okay? And I had the CA logo before Canelo. All right? But we ain't going to talk about that. All right? But the facts are this. When there's consequences to an action, you prevent yourself from doing those things. You don't act and do certain things that you might really want to do because you know, damn, I ain't trying to go to jail. Damn, I don't want to get in trouble. Damn, I want to, go out and party and drink alcohol. But if I do that, it's not good for my health and my future. So therefore, we don't do it, right? Or at least we try not to do it. Well, the same thing with boxing. If you throw a punch at somebody and every time you punch, they counter punch the shit out of your ass, guess what's going to happen? I ain't throwing that punch. I ain't throwing that punch. That motherfucker fast. He hit hard, right? So this is the mentality. You know what I mean? You got some kamikaze motherfuckers out there. You know what I'm saying? You got some kamikaze guys out there that will go out there and just swing their asses off, and they don't care if they get punched in the face. And if they get knocked out, it don't matter. They trying to knock you out. You do got some kamikaze fighters out there. But any fighter with any logical sense is going to hesitate when they start to get counterpunched. You feel me? So the best way to take the straight jab away to the body is the same way you take away any other punch. Learn the counter punches. I have a whole course on it called How to Set Traps and Counterpunch, guys. All right? Once you learn how to set traps and counterpunch, guess what? Guys stop punching at you so often because they know there's a price to pay. You feel me? I hope that helped, champ. Okay, and let me go ahead and get to this next combination, the last one. And I actually, like I said, I did this on my email list today. The hook to the head, hook to the body, right? We call it the Mickey Ward. Wop, wop, same hand. Why? They block the hook, leaves the body exposed. Bang, you drop the body shot. Nasty, nasty, nasty combination. Nasty combination. You set that up the same way you set up any other punch in boxing. By throwing a decoy, by throwing your jab, you know what I'm saying? By doing different things to get them to forget about what's the next thing you're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? I got another super chat. Michael, what are all the variants of punches? Now, that I don't even understand what that question means. No disrespect. So if you can elaborate what you mean by what are all the variants of punches, and I'm sorry, I'm not as articulate as everybody may think I am when it comes to certain words in the dictionary. But if you can go ahead and elaborate what you mean, I would be more than glad to answer you. You know what I'm saying? Drew Johnson, dope. I was thinking counter that jab to the body. 100%, brother. You got to counter. Gems, I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach Anthony. It could save somebody's life. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm just going through some of these comments real quick. Guys, make sure you share this with a friend. Share it live with a friend. Press the like button, man. I hope I'm providing value to you guys. I'm waiting for my man to elaborate the question that he asked, and we're going to continue to talk. Okay. Now let's talk about the next thing. The mindset required to succeed in a boxing ring. Now this is serious right here. Mindset. Because to succeed in a boxing ring, you gotta sort of be emotionless. But again, boxing is life. It's a metaphor for life. You can't let a bad day in the gym throw you off. You can't let a bad sparring match throw you off. You can't have a bad, experience with one trainer throw you off. You have to stay positive. You got to keep moving forward. How is that different than in life? If somebody asks you how to be successful in anything in life, is continue to move forward. Don't get wrapped up in what happened yesterday. It's like being a salesman. If you want to be a salesman, you have to have very low connection to your emotions. It's like right now, I get on here, right? And I want to sell you guys my courses. Hey guys, I want to enroll you to my courses. I'm going to give you 50% off. And on top of that, I'm going to give you another 50% off. And I'm going to give you the best information 100% on the internet. And you don't buy my stuff. And I say to myself, man, nobody bought my courses, man. I'm just going to stop selling courses. Imagine that. No, I'm not going to stop. Just that guy didn't buy my courses, but somebody else will. So what am I going to do? I'm going to continue to promote my stuff because I know that I bring value. I know that I'm teaching the best stuff that people are going to get online. I know that you guys are going to be very happy when you guys purchase my material. So what do? Brush it off. Oh, you don't want it? Cool. Talk to the next person. Oh, you don't want it? Cool. Talk to the next person, right? Well, it's the same thing with boxing. You get your ass whooped one day, cool. I'm going to go back. I'm going to work on whatever I was getting my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? And then what am I going to do the next day? Get your ass whooped again. Damn, why does this keep happening to me? I got to keep working on whatever I need to work on. But if you believe in yourself and you push through those days, one day you're going to look up and you're going to be the guy beating people. Listen, when I first started boxing, never in a million years that I think or anybody think I would be teaching people all across the world, including world champions, world title contenders, how to do this. Never, ever. You would have seen my first sparring match. You would have been like, that kid's finished. He's never going to make it in this sport. And I kept going. I never stopped. Okay, my friend Eddie Chambers talks about the same thing. He had a really rough in the beginning, and as he got better, he got better. A fighter I used to work with, Tevin Farmer, he started off as a professional 7-4. Next thing you know, we won a world title and defended it successfully 5 times. Okay, boxing's something that you have to be willing to get a lot of no's before you get the yes. Okay, and life is no different. You have to have thick skin. You have to be willing to say, that's cool. It's all good, champ. I got this. Yeah, I got my ass whooped yesterday. Talk to me in a couple of days. Talk to me in a year, 2 years, 3 years. We're in this for the long haul, guys. We're not in this for the overnight success because nothing that comes overnight you're going to hold on to for a long time anyway. Let's just be realistic, okay? Every once in a while you get lucky. But a lot of times when you get lucky in life, it's due to hard work. There's an old saying that says the harder I work, the luckier I get. So maybe something might have seemed like luck, but maybe all the hard work you did in another area of your life put you in a position to get lucky. So at the end of the day, it always comes back to what you're willing to do, what you're willing to put in, how hard are you willing to work, how much are you willing to sacrifice, are you willing to dedicate time and your finances to hire the best people to help you, You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to not go out on a Friday night? Are you willing to not buy those Jordans? Are you willing to not, you know what I'm saying, go out and eat home cooked meals? Are you willing to go to bed at a reasonable hour based on your schedule? Are you willing to go out on that run? Are you willing to get your ass beaten sparring 2 times a week for a year before you're able to start dominating? Are you willing to work on your jab every single day 1,000 times, no matter if it's really tempting to throw right hands and left hooks? Your coach told you focus on your jab. Are you willing to do that? If you are, you got a bright future. I don't give a shit where you are in this game. But if you're not, boxing's a great way to exercise. Boxing's a great way to get in shape. And maybe just competition ain't for you. And that's great. But in order to be successful in a boxing ring as a competitor, you have to have that thick skin. And guess what? Even for the fitness people out there, it's the same thing, because the workouts ain't going to be easy day one. Your punches aren't going to look good day one. So for the people who are into fitness and are like, well, I don't got to get punched in the face, that doesn't apply to me, that's bullshit too, because at the end of the day, you have to be willing for people to say, laughing at how you throw punches, saying that your form and technique sucks, you're getting tired in 30 seconds, maybe you should just forget about it, maybe the weight loss isn't coming off as fast as you wanted to, you know, things of that nature. And that's not getting punched in the face, but at the end of the day, that is a similar win and loss situation. Maybe you get injured. Okay, I have a guy, my camera guy. Big shout out to my boy Zach. I don't know if you're in here. Maybe you're on the creep listening. But if you're not, he started boxing. He's a little overweight. He decided he wanted to get his weight down. Within his first week of working out, he fell and twisted his ankle. Right? So when he twisted his ankle, anybody else could have quit. He was going on a trip to like Houston or something. Anybody else would have quit. I twisted my ankle. I'm overweight. Forget it. Nope. He called me. He told me. I said, listen, bro, stick to your diet. Just stick to your diet. Let your ankle heal. Do not mess up your diet, because as soon as you heal up, you're going to be pissed off that you didn't stick to your diet. So he stuck to his diet. A week went by. He started feeling better. Now he's back in the gym. He's working out with my good friend, Fast Eddie Chambers. And he's lost like 20 pounds and he's feeling good and he's on the road to success. And how did he do it? By not letting something like him twisting his ankle deter him from the big picture. And that's just like fighting. Not letting a knockdown in round one stop you from getting up and getting yourself together to come back and win. Not letting you lose your first 3 or 4 amateur fights throw you off, or starting off 7-4 as a professional fighter throw you off from your world title goals. This is the mindset that is needed to be successful in boxing, guys, and in life. And it's so serious. You know, I see a lot of guys right now, they're listening to like how to become a high value man and how to, you know, do these things to be like high value, like the Andrew Tates of the world and all these type of guys, right? And in my mind, I'm like, you know, I'm interested in all that stuff too, because I'm into personal development. But it's crazy because every time I hear that stuff, I'm like, yo, this is what I teach in boxing. Boxing is literally something that you teach, you know what I'm saying, to teach you in all areas of life. And it's funny because I was with the comedian Brian Callen a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if you guys know who Brian Callen is, but he's a very famous comedian. And he came to Philadelphia. And when he came here, he gave me a call. Yo, Coach Anthony, I'm in Philly. I've been wanting to meet you and work with you for years, blah, blah, blah. He actually shouted me out on the Joe Rogan show a couple of years back. So big shout out to Brian Callen. Thank you for the love. And he said something that I never heard before. He said the Asians believe once you master something, you understand everything. And I was like, damn, now that's a jewel. Once you master something, you understand everything. Think about that. The more that I talk about boxing, the more that I'm like, damn, that translates to relationships, that translates to money, that translates to everything. They're like, everything that we teach in boxing, if you could just formulate it for what you're trying to do in your own situation, you can literally take the lessons from boxing and put it together. And for those of you guys who are really successful in some other area of life, maybe you're like a really good videographer, or maybe you're like a really good chef. Like if I wanted to be a chef, I'm pretty sure you're gonna say, well, you got to learn the fundamentals of cooking. If I wanted to be a videographer, you're probably gonna say, well, first you got to learn how to like adjust the settings on the camera. Well, in boxing, it's the same thing. You're not just gonna be. I'm not gonna be shooting and editing film overnight. I got to learn step by step, and I got to do it for a certain amount of time. And of course, some people are just naturally gifted and better at certain things than others. But for the most part, you got to go through this process. And boxing is the same process. But for whatever reason, people think there's some sort of a secret. The secret is have the mindset, invest into yourself, invest the time. And the best cheat code you could do is find the right educator, the right teacher, the right person who's not going to lead you astray, who's not going to sell you on some bullshit, who's going to tell you the truth, who's going to help you, who's going to correct you. If you could find that guy, and I'm hoping to be that guy for many people out there who don't have access to a person like that in their own area, you're going to get further than if you try to do this on your own and mix pieces from different people and try to go on the internet and search around, watch me, watch this guy, watch that guy, watch that guy, and try to figure it out. I mean, that's a cool place to start because at least you're getting started. But at some point, you need to find the philosophy that you really believe in, and you need to go ahead and dive into that. And that's how you become successful at anything, not just boxing. So the mindset of boxing to be successful in the ring, man, that's a very, I just went in and I hope that it touches somebody in this live because I know there's somebody out there trying to cut corners. I know there's somebody who gets depressed whenever they have a hard day in the gym or had a hard sparring match or got their ass whooped or messed up their diet. But you got to remember that tomorrow's another day and this is a battle. Life is a battle. I battle every day, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand, man. Like, life is a battle even to people who you think got it all figured out. I'm battling every day, but we're not going to give up. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep working. We're going to figure this out. And you know what I'm saying? Only the strong survive, man. That's just what it is. Let me go ahead and get to some of these comments because I know I was just going in for a second. Great talk, coach. Nothing that's worth having comes easy. Microwave generation, 100%, man. This is something that a lot of people want everything quick, and I understand the mindset. I understand it because who doesn't want their goals quick? I wish I could snap my fingers up tomorrow and be back to the weight that I'm trying to get to. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I could have it my way, I'd be like, boop. But that's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. So the sooner you understand that's not how it works, you know what I'm saying, the better you are. If anybody got any quick questions y'all want to ask, if this is providing you guys value, man, let it be known in the chat. Say, you know what I'm saying? Yes, like whatever. Like, let me know that I'm providing value. I don't want to waste nobody's time. I want to make sure that everybody that comes to my live streams can leave with something and say, you know what, man, it was worth the time that I spent with Coach Ant. He was actually spitting some facts. He wasn't bullshitting me. He was keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal, y'all. I'm not here to like bullshit y'all. I want to make sure that you guys are getting value from me. And also, please press the like button and share this with somebody you think would get some value from this right now. Right? If you think somebody would get value from this right now, send it out right now. This is live. This is a live stream, right? I would love for more people to get in here, chop it up. This all you gotta do is share. Share it real quick, y'all. Send it to a text. You know what I'm saying? Send it to somebody. Thank you, Chant. I appreciate it. What is your take on 52 hand blocks? Is it effective? Would you consider another level in boxing? You know what, man? I grew up in New York City, so a lot of people would talk about the 52 hand blocks or the 52 blocks or whatever, but I never got familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really speak on something I have no familiarity with. But what I will tell you is this. If it was effective, For boxing, we would have been teaching it, and we would have been learned it a long time ago. The way that we block in boxing is, to me, the most effective way to block. Because if there was a better way, you would have seen world champions already using it inside of their system. So no disrespect to those guys. Maybe that's really good for the streets. I don't know. But for boxing, the way that we block, you know what I'm saying? It's straight to the point. You feel me? It's straight to the point. And simplicity sometimes is better than complicating things. People always want this complicated thing, but the easier you can simplify something, the better and the more effective it is for the majority of people. You see what I'm saying? So the 52 block system, I don't know much about it, but all I'm saying is boxing's been out a very, very long time. Hundreds of years. Matter of fact, thousands, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know anybody who's ever used the 52 block system in a professional boxing match or the amateurs and beat any world top contenders. So I hope that answers your question. Should you drop your hips when punching and stuff? You ask questions that is kind of like, I don't know, I have to think about what you're saying. Drop your hips. I don't really know if you drop your hips, but you rotate your hips, you turn your hips, you bend your knees, but drop your hips. I don't think you need to drop your hips. I don't even really know what drop your hips would be. I'd have to see what you mean, but you would bend your knees and you would rotate. You know, if I'm throwing the right hand, I'm rotating. If you throw a left hook, I'm rotating. But yeah, the dropping of the hips, I never heard that term for throwing your punches or anything like that. At around what age is too late to start fighting amateur, hoping to go pro? Also, when do I know skill wise I am ready for amateur fights? Okay, this is a very common question, and I will answer this for you. Um, there is no age too late to start fighting amateur because amateur boxing goes all the way into the masters division, and you can stop that in your 60s or whatever, right? So we can eliminate that. Now, the 40-year-old age cutoff for the Olympics, which I don't even think they're having in Olympics anymore, is 40 years old before you turn masters. Now, as far as becoming a professional fighter goes, you can turn pro at any age, after 18, but you have to be prepared if you want to be successful. And how do you know you're successful to go amateur for the first time? Your coach will know. That's your coach's job. That is your coach's job to put you in the right kind of sparring, which will allow him to see how you compete in sparring before he decides to allow you to actually fight. So, for instance, what I used to do with my guys is if I had a kid getting ready for his first amateur fight, what I would do is I would call another gym who had a kid with 1 to 3 amateur fights. And I would say, hey, man, you got anybody 150 pounds that could spar my kid? He's never fought before, but he's been training for 6 months. I'm trying to get him ready for his fight. We'll box any of your guys that got 1 to 3 fights. And because typically when you fight in the amateurs, you're going to be fighting somebody from 1 to 3 fights in your first few fights. So I would gauge it in the sparring. So let's just say they say, yeah, I got a kid with 3 fights. I'll be like, bring him down. So now when my kid spars the kid with 3 fights, only thing I'm looking for is that my kid can defend himself. We're looking to get the best of the kid, but if we cannot get the best of the kid, he has to at least be able to defend himself very well, which means he leaves the ring without getting hurt and he put up a good account for himself. And then I know, okay, he needs a little bit more work or he's ready to go as long as I get him with kid with 1 fight. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So I gauge it based off of that. I do the same thing with the pros. You know what I'm saying? If I got a world-class pro and we bring him to box another world-class fighter, I'm paying attention to see how he does. If he does well, I know my kid's ready for that next level as a pro. If not, I know he's not. So you got to gauge it through the sparring. The sparring is the best, the closest thing you're going to get to a fight, and it's the best way to really see where your guy's at and the best way for you to know where you're at. I hope that helped. Zab used it on Floyd in the later rounds. So I saw this question before I answered it. He did not really use it. He just did a bunch of this. but you didn't see him actually blocking any punches. That was more an emotional reaction to everything that was going on in that fight. I remember it though. He was like doing all this, but did any punches come? Did he block anything with that? You know what I mean? It was more posing than anything. But to see a guy actually block in a professional fight, I love to see it. Because if it works, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn it and I'm going to teach it to my guys. If it works in a professional fight. You know what I'm saying? So, again, man, you always got to ask yourself certain questions. If it was so effective, why is it not done in professional fights? You always have to ask these questions. Do you need to be at least an amateur fighter to become a good coach, or is it proper coaching from your training, a good number of sparring rounds on your belt when knowing when it's time? Okay, well, my personal opinion, I think you do need some competitive experience to be successful as a coach quicker. Let me at least say that. To be successful as a coach quicker. Okay, I never fought professional, but I fought as an amateur. And I also sparred a lot of professionals for a very long time. I'm talking about like a decade of getting in the ring with guys with 20 pro fights. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, I'm not a guy who's never mixed it up with professionals. I just never fought under the lights with my shirt off and got paid for it. See what I'm saying? But I have professional sparring experience where I actually would have done, I've done 6 rounds with good professionals in the ring, which is a challenge. It's not easy to do, even though it's sparring. You feel me? So I know what it takes to a degree. And then I worked with professionals as a coach, which I really started out as like a mitt guy. So I got a chance to work with guys on the mitts and really hone my craft. Okay. And these guys already had trainers. So I would be in camps and I would be learning through the mitts and I would be learning in that way. So I was educating myself like that. And at the same time, I was training my own amateur fighters, which was giving me the education of working corners and getting kids prepared and taking kids who knew nothing and that. And I had mentors. I had people who I can call and ask questions and talk. Basically, what I try to give people with my coaching calls and stuff of that nature, I have that with the coaches who coached me when I was first coming up, and some excellent teachers here in the Philadelphia area as well, and across the world, honestly. I got really good relationships with a lot of top level coaches who've been doing this longer than me because they took a liking to me based off of my energy that I brought to the game, right? They looked at me as somebody who's going to be successful in the sport, and they decided to pass on a lot of their game to me, and I made sure that I soaked it up. You feel me? So I got a lot of different elements, a lot of moving parts that's gotten me to where I've gotten to as a coach. I know this question wasn't necessarily to me, but I'm answering it because I kind of understand where you're coming from, okay? And you also have to have the gift of communication. Okay, because if you cannot communicate, if you cannot see things, okay, it doesn't matter how good you are. There's a lot of professional fighters out there who's done more than me as a fighter that I know I can walk circles around when it comes to coaching. So coaching takes an eye, patience, experience, in the field as a coach, experience in the field as a fighter to a degree, to at least understand what your fighter's going through. Like, if you've never had a hard round of sparring in your life, how can you tell somebody what to do after the end of a hard fight? You know what I'm saying? You never even experienced it in sparring, and then you're telling me you want to work with a guy who's fighting? See what I'm saying? The only way I could see that really being successful is if you are under the guidance of a coach who has experience coaching. So let's just say, example, you came to me and said, Coach, I want to be your assistant. Anything you tell me to do, I'm going to just shut up and listen. And you do that. And when I work corners, you stand in the corner with me and you listen to me give instructions and you watch how I deal with fighters' emotions and training camps. Example, Teddy Atlas and Customato. Right? I think Teddy Atlas had like 1 amateur fight, but he got a chance to learn from Customato. I think Customato only had 1 amateur fight. But Customato been training guys for 50 years. So all those years that he's been putting in work as a coach, he learned things. And then Teddy Atlas got a chance to work under him, and he learned things. So, yes, it can be done without having a lot of fight experience, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of repetition, the same way becoming a good fighter becomes repetitive. And you have to be able to understand emotions. You have to understand fear. You have to understand strength and conditioning. You have to understand fundamentals. Like, you need to really know the fundamentals of the game. What are the risk rewards? You have to know your fighter. You have to know how to deal with different kind of fighters. And this all comes in experience, right? This is not something that, you could just pick up and think that you naturally got it. You actually got to go through it. I know a lot of good trainers who thought they was good, and then as soon as they started to get put in that limelight, their guys started losing. And because they had to go through it too. Now I'm sure they're going to be better trainers now. They're a little humbler because they actually experience losses. But if you come into this game thinking, yeah, I got it, man, I know I could be a good trainer. Yeah, you and everybody else thinks they could be a good trainer. You feel me? I'm not talking about you in general, though, champ. I'm just talking, you know what I'm saying? So it just takes a lot of moving parts. So if becoming a trainer is something you really want to do, you really have to put in the time, the effort. And I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and mix it up a little bit, just so you can go ahead and know what it feels like for when you're dealing with a fighter. You can give them something. You can give them some game. You see what I'm saying? Guys like Georgie Benton, who was some of the best, one of the Hall of Fame trainer. And he was a great fighter, but he never won a world title. Right? You see what I'm saying? Guys like that end up being really good. Guys like Emmanuel Stewart, who he didn't have a large he never fought professional, but Emmanuel Stewart fought as an amateur, and he trained professionals for, I'm talking about 2-3 decades. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are guys who stood true to the game before you figured out who they was. So I hope that answers your question. I know I've been talking for a minute, and sometimes it's hard for me to get all the questions. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying my best to answer these questions in full detail. Let me go ahead and move on to the next tip that I was going to talk about in this particular live. And that's training and conditioning tips to enhance your performance. Okay, so training and conditioning tips. Well, this right here is a good one because people always ask me about strength and conditioning. And for boxing, I think that it just depends on what level you're at and what you're trying to accomplish. I believe in old school heavy bag conditioning, sprinting, running, pull-up, push-ups, heavy bag work, sparring, mitt work, jump rope, speed bag, the traditional boxing exercises with some high-intensity sprints, some good sparring, some good calisthenics, and I think you're set. Honestly, I think that'll carry you probably all the way into maybe a dozen professional fights, honestly, and like a bunch of amateur fights. Like, I really believe that's all you need. Now, I think there's going to be a time where you're going to eventually want to add some weight training for maybe muscle imbalances and strength and conditioning stuff. You know what I mean? You might want to go ahead and bring in a strength and conditioning coach. But for particular reasons, I don't believe that any of that stuff's going to necessarily make you become a better fighter. I think that it may help you in certain areas that might be lacking. Maybe you need some mobility work. Maybe you need some strength, you know what I mean, with your legs, and you got to focus on a little bit of legs or whatever. But for the most part, old school traditional boxing training with the heavy bag regimen and the sprinting and all that type of stuff is going to be more than enough for a very long time. And the reason why I say guys should focus on that, especially in the beginning, because you want to get your body just used to boxing, get that body really like prepared for this. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the times guys start to do strength and conditioning, and then they start to put more effort into the strength and conditioning, and then the boxing starts to take a back seat because you're sore from the strength and conditioning. If you do a really good strength and conditioning workout, you're not going to want to box that much the next day. All right. But if I put in a crazy good boxing routine, the next day I could put in another boxing routine. The next day, because I'm not killing myself for strength and conditioning on top of the boxing training. So I'm getting more reps with my boxing training when I focus on boxing. Now, when I get to a certain point where I already have my style, I'm already simple, then we could go ahead and maybe mix up some other stuff as we get a little bit older. Maybe injuries are starting to come in. We got to do things a little differently. Yes, bring in the strength and conditioning coach. But when you're just starting out, I think boxing is all you need. Some road work, old-fashioned road work, some sprinting, you know what I mean? And some regular body weight calisthenic stuff, some combat ropes, things of that nature. Tires. I'm cool with all that type of stuff. That's the old school boxing. In boxing, we do a lot of the stuff those strength and conditioning guys actually make you do. We just do it in a boxing way. And of course, there's always a better way to do stuff, and you can learn how to do things better or whatever. But I wouldn't necessarily think about weight training. I wouldn't necessarily think about all that stuff in the beginning, if that makes any sense. Any questions on this topic? Coach, I want to be your assistant, real rap. I get messages like that every day, champ, every single day, man. Big shout out to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so that's just a short topic. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a live on that, a separate live just on that. But for the most part, guys, focus on your boxing, focus on your heavy bag conditioning, you know, because you're going to get a lot of good work on your heavy bag. You're going to get a lot of good work in general, man. You know what I'm saying? When you box, sparring alone is um, a crazy workout. You feel what I'm saying? And of course, you know, I got courses on that, guys. And of course, you guys already know 50% off on top of my 50% off sale for showing up to this live, guys. Use the CA Power Hour, guys. I got the heavy back conditioning drills on there. Go on there and get the heavy back conditioning drills. Eddie Chambers is on there. It's a great video for conditioning. I got 16 courses in total for you to choose from. You can get that, or you can be even smarter and just get the Master Boxing Bundle. If you get the bronze tier, it adds up to $31 a course, guys. It's crazy how cheap it is, man, when you get the Master Boxing Bundle, the bronze tier. I always tell people get the bronze tier because it's the cheapest tier I got. And if you want to upgrade later, we can talk about that in the future. We got my boy Juan Morales with another super chat. We do both. He is only 16, but it has helped with his power. And Steve, love your stuff again. I'm going to buy a course on, okay. I get you, man. I see you said you're gonna get a course, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. And if you wanted to get it, man, right now is the best time to get it. I got the sale up there. So if I've been weight training prior, should I pause? It just depends on how serious you want to take boxing. It's 23 hours. It just depends on how serious you want to take boxing. If you've been weight training for a while and you want to take boxing serious, yeah, maybe put the weights down and focus on the boxing. Your muscle's not going to go nowhere, bro. Eat good, work out hard, do some calisthenics, you're going to be fine. You feel me? And let me talk about the last thing, guys. The last thing I want to talk about today is nutrition advice for boxers to fuel performance and recovery. Okay? And this is going to be common sense, guys. This is going to be common sense. But I'm going to tell you some things that I like to tell people to do. For people out there who understand about logging calories, I think that's one of the best things you could do. So if you can get an app like MyFitnessPal and you start to log your food, okay, that's one of the best things you could do, because once you start to log your food, you're going to know how many calories is in your food. You're going to know you're going to learn food. You know what I mean? You're going to learn how many calories is in the chicken breast. You're going to learn how many calories is in fish. You're going to learn how many calories is in avocado. And then, of course, you're going to want to start to eat the better foods. You're going to use common sense here. We're going to stay away from processed food. We're going to stay away from, you know, a lot of sugary drinks. We're going to stay away from too many snacks. We're going to stay away from things that we know are going to hinder not only our weight, but our performance. We're going to do our best to do the right research. But if you can stay within your caloric range, that's always the best thing, because if you eat too many calories, it's going to be hard for you to get the weight off. And in boxing, of course, you're trying to get to the lowest weight class that you feel the strongest. So you want to eat healthy food. You want to stay within a good caloric range. You got to know how many calories your body is supposed to be eating. You need to understand how to make a deficit. And again, that's a whole nother live stream that I could do if you guys are interested in that. You know what I mean? You guys could let me know in the chat, and maybe we'll go ahead and talk about macros and calories and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And then different strategies you can use, like intermittent fasting, things of that nature. And you can go ahead and get, you know what I'm saying, some good quality food. Of course, you're gonna have people out there that are vegans. You're gonna have people out there that are keto. You're gonna have people out there that, you know, have food allergies and stuff like that. So of course, everybody's diet's gonna be a little bit different. I don't think everybody's going to eat the same, but at least if you know what's inside of the food that you're eating, you can make the best decision. So if you're a vegan, you can find the best vegan food that's within your caloric range. If you're a keto guy, you can eat the best keto foods that are going to keep you within your caloric range. You see what I'm saying? So you want to have enough energy to train, right? Because you're going to be training hard. You're going to be running. You're going to be hitting the bag. You're going to be sparring. So you definitely don't want to be sluggish. You want to be eating the right foods, but at the same time, you don't want to be overeating. And everybody's body's a little bit different, and you will learn your body as you go through the process. You feel me? Just reading some of these comments. And guys, man, if you guys don't got my phone number, please shoot me a text. Now, this is what I want to offer you guys. If you guys want to get on a coaching call with me, if getting my courses, if getting enrolled in my private community is something that would interest you, and you guys want to get on a coaching call with me to make sure I'm the right fit, shoot me a text at 215-709-5437 and say, I'm interested in enrolling. I am interested in enrolling. Shoot me a text and say, I am interested in enrolling. And I will go ahead, we'll set up a call. I'll talk to you privately, just like this, one-on-one, talk about your boxing goals, talk about what you currently been doing, how much experience you got, and I'll get you put together into my private community. We'll get you put together in some of my courses. The call is free, but what I'm offering isn't going to be free, right? I'm going to be offering you something that's going to cost you some money. But if you're serious about it, shoot me a text and I'll set up a free call with you. And we'll get on a call just like this, man. And we're going to go ahead, dive into it. We'll talk. I ain't going to waste your time. Just don't waste mine. Okay? And we'll see if I can actually help you. If I can't help you, I'm going to tell you straight up, bro, too much, can't help you, champ. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice talk. Hopefully I left you with some gems that you could take with you after the call. But if I can help you, then we're going to go ahead, put you in the right package, put you in a community so I can go ahead and watch your training, watch your stuff. Because when you're in the community, okay, what ends up happening is this, guys. When you're in the community, you can post your videos, you can post your training. I can chime in, I can send you a private DM message, tell you what you're doing right, tell you what you're doing wrong. It's really been really helpful for a lot of people, and it's getting a lot better. There's a lot of talent in there. So for anybody who's already in the community, big shout out to you guys. I know a few of you guys are already in here, but for those who aren't, you guys need to get in the private community, man. It's called the CA Boxing University, and you get that when you enroll to my program. Again, you can text me at 215-709-5437. If you do not have my number, take the number anyway. This is where I update everybody for my live streams, update people for new YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Answer questions when I get a chance. This is obviously a phone number that is strictly for my YouTube community and for people who want to have access to me, right? So I can't answer every single question that I get, but it is a text message. It does go directly to my cell phone. You can shoot me a text right now, and I can answer you right now on live, just so you can go ahead and understand to say something to me, man, and I'll go ahead and say it, man. But this is obviously my Texas, man. So if you guys are interested, man, text me 215-709-5437. One last time, guys. Of course, we got the CA Power Hour, 50% off of everything on the website. On top of the 50% off that's on there, I also have the bronze tier. The bronze tier right here, it provides 16 courses, a coaching call, a virtual coaching call with me, and lifetime access to my private community. This right here is a ridiculous deal. We also got the silver tier. The silver tier gives you 2 coaching calls, 16 courses, access to my private community. And the gold tier, which is the most expensive but the most personal, you're going to get all 16 courses. You're going to get 4 virtual coaching calls. You're going to get lifetime access to a private community. And you're going to get 90 days working with me every single day, okay, in a private messenger where you can send me your videos every single day, okay, every day. If you got a sparring video you did today, you can send it to me today. If you did a heavy bag video, you can send it to me. And I will interact with you every single day for 90 days. For 90 days. And if you don't get value in it, you get your money back, man. You get your money back. You feel me? So that's how we're going to go ahead and do that, man. So for anybody out there, go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Check out the gold tier. Check out the silver tier. And check out the bronze tier. And, of course, if you just want one course, go ahead. Get 50% off on top of the 50% off, man. That's like 75% off. That's crazy. That's like Black Friday vibes. And it's only, damn, what's today? It's June. We're giving out Black Friday vibes in June right now. Okay, so that's that, guys. I'm going to save my energy. Try to get on here another day. I want to get on here more often. If you guys appreciated this live, when I end the live, please drop a comment in the regular comments section. Please like the video. Please share this with somebody who you think will get value from this. And you guys already know, guys. Peace. Boxing life.